Well, let's say we want to take a mixture and break it down into its pure substances. We can do that using physical means of separation. On the other hand, to break a compound back into its corresponding elements, that must be done chemically. So what we want to look at now is 3 common physical separation techniques used to separate mixtures back to pure substances: filtration, distillation, and centrifugation. First thing is filtration. This is based on the idea that you have some type of medium, such as filter paper, that has pore sizes, hole sizes if you will, of a particular size and relatively uniform. And what that will allow is small particles will be allowed to pass through those pores and larger particles will not. And that allows one to effectively separate smaller particles from larger particles. So, filtration is a separation technique based on particle size. And you're familiar with this. That's the same way a colander works or a strainer works. Depending on what you put in it, normally you're going to rinse it. The water molecule is smaller than the hole, and so water will drain, and whatever you're rinsing, spaghetti, grapes, whatever, is larger than the holes, and they'll remain on top, and thus allowing you to separate one thing, water, from another, whatever is being rinsed. Distillation. That is a separation technique based on differences in boiling point. If you have a mixture of liquids and they have different boiling points, as you heat it up, the lower boiling point material is going to evaporate. It's going to vaporize and go overhead. And if you cool it down, it will condense. So that now what you have is the lighter material, since that's the only thing going overhead, it will be captured as a pure substance, and the mixture is left behind. Let's consider a saltwater solution. Water boils at 100 degrees C and sodium chloride well over 1,000. And so at 100 degrees C, the water will go overhead and you will capture the water in the condenser. Meanwhile, salt water will be left behind. And this is the idea behind distilled water. Lastly, let's consider separating a material based on centrifugal force. As one centrifuges a mixture, heavier components, more dense materials, will separate to the bottom, and lighter materials will stay higher up in the container. As a result, you can effectively separate materials of separate density. This is what commonly happens when one takes a sample of blood. It is centrifuged, and it can then be broken out into its various components. There are many types of separation techniques and many types of physical separation techniques, but these are 3 of the most common that you should be familiar with: filtration, distillation, and centrifugation.